South Korea is often referred to as the land of the morning calm. It has preserved a rich and vibrant culture throughout the years. Many Koreans have great pride and appreciation for their country. In a small suburban community, a group of young people are getting their traditional costumes and instruments ready to go to their town's central park and put on a show. They've been practicing for weeks, and the community recognizes their beat. But who are they?
Yeah, down south in Naju City, and there is a very much unique church. All the church members are youth members, middle school students and high school students, except the pastor and his wife.
This youth church is run by the youth and for the youth. They've built a solid group of members who are involved in all the church's activities. The traditional costumes and instruments are just one of their many activities to greet the community. But this church didn't always work this way. Pastor Shin used to be a deacon in a church. His oldest daughter, Bo Hua, was a middle school student. There was no one her age in the church, and she was lonely. So Bo Hua's mother knew she had to find friends for her daughter in the church.
In the beginning, she didn't have enough funds from the church. Therefore, she began to bake a Korean-style pancake on the street. And she gave it to the passers-by students. And so that way, she gathered a lot of students. And then as of now, the church baptizing 20 or so young people every year.
Thanks to the mother's efforts and pancakes, the youth congregation was growing. As the church grew, Bo Hua's father felt the call to join the ministry. At that time, Bo Hua's father was a deacon, but he was feeling God's call to be a minister.
When he was 47 years old, he went to the theology training, and his older daughter followed him. And then eventually the youngest daughter followed.
Having 3 family members in theology school was not cheap.
So one year, the father was a senior, and the first daughter was a sophomore. The youngest daughter was a freshman. 3 of these are in the same classroom. And while his wife was on the street to bake the pancakes, and she supported 3 of these students, husband and the first daughter and second daughter.
Again, the mother came through by baking the Korean pancakes.
Even before I started, I prayed for a long time and I read the Bible to get the knowledge. When God made me successful in this ministry, I thought that it was the work of God.
At first, the community didn't know what to think of this church. But the youth decided to give to the community. They visited the homes of the elderly. They would talk with them, wash their dishes, work in their gardens, and help in any way they could. As a result of truly caring for their neighbors, their reputation has transformed to being loved by their community.
These students are very welcomed by the elderly citizens around here. These elderly citizens took them in as their grandchildren.
On a typical Sabbath, they will have a church service, share a meal together, and spend the whole afternoon together. They are truly a church family.
It is a great joy of mine to see them remaining in the faith as they grow up and become successful citizens in society.
With all the growth and activity, they have outgrown their humble building and need more space to expand. They want to train the youth to effectively reach the community. A portion of your mission offerings will go toward building a mission institute for the youth so they can be properly trained to introduce their neighbors to Jesus. Please pray for the members of this church. Pray that this group will continue to grow and more hearts are touched by Jesus.